Record.
This meeting is being recorded.
Got it.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming along to Freebie Friday. So this is an art journaling workshop that I'm running today for the full month of April. So every Friday for the month of April, I'm going to go live and do an art journaling activity. But then every other day of April, and I ran this last year, every other day of April, I'm also going to give you a prompt to create a journal page if you want to. So you'll end up with a full book of journal entries. And each week when I do it, I'm going to sort of give you a different theme, a different way to art journal, just to give you some different techniques and just some different ideas on how you can art journal. So what we're going to do today, this is like a nice little ease into it. We're going to create something like this. So this is a mindfulness activity in your art journal. It looks pretty difficult, but it's actually really quite easy. So I'm going to show you the technique to do this. And I think Mel may have done this with me before, something similar to this, but I'm going to show you what to do. So I'm going to start out with just a black marker, a black texter. So you could just use a Sharpie, or if you're using paint, you could use paint or pencils. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to use black to start off with. And then what I'm going to do is I just want to think now, this is actually a technique that sort of, there's a technique that is done similar to this called Neurographic Art, and it's a psychologically based art form. It's very loosely based on that particular style of art. And we're not going to specifically do that today, but we're going to use that sort of theme to create this artwork. So what I want you to do is just sort of like, relax, don't worry about what's happened this morning. Don't worry about what you're going to be doing in like an hour's time. Just sort of sit in the moment of now, and you could just close your eyes and just have a little breath for a moment. And what I want you to do is just with your black texter, we're going to just start doing some little doodle lines. And I'm just going to pop my little camera down so you can see how I'm going to do this. Let me just move all my little notes out of the way. So I'm just going to sort of start on the edge, and I'm just going to start and do some lines like this. So just doodle, oops, I went off the page. That's all right, start again. So just doing some little doodle lines like that. So you end up with just a whole bunch of little funky lines.
Oh, no, I'm blurry.
Beautiful. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good, everybody. Good work. Mind you, I'm not here to teach you. You've just got to go with it. Hey, Maria, how are you, my darling?
I'm okay, Sharon. Sorry, I'm a bit late.
No, that's all right. We've just started. So
yeah.
All we're doing is we've just used our black texter, and we've just done a little bit, just sort of sitting in the moment for just, a little second.
Yeah, that's
just
good.
Sort of calm your mind, and just a few little doodle lines.
Okay.
So that's where we're up to. So the idea of this is to get you to just relax, kind of think about nothing particular, This is quite a good activity for stress, quite a good activity for anxiety as well. Now, as you know, I don't know if you know, but I'm an art therapist, and a lot of the work that I do is based around self-health, self-care, and mindfulness. So this is a lot of this art journaling that I'll be doing in this next month is going to be based around this style of activity. So it's for mental well-being and mental health and just personal well-being as well. Art is such a cool tool to use in that space, and it actually connects us into a different place for us when we create art. And when we do art therapy, we actually connect to our unconscious mind. So when we create art, it's doing the same kind of thing. So it's actually getting you out of the space of thinking and just into the space of doing. So that's why this particular activity is really great, and it's why it's actually been developed into a particular psychological art form. So it's quite an interesting thing to investigate. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, and this is what I want you guys to do, this is where you're going to sort of use your pens or your pencils or your texters, whatever you've got. I'm actually going to use coloured pencils for this next part of the activity. So where you have join lines, so if you can see this part here, where there's a sharp join line and it's created a point, we're actually going to soften those join lines. So we're going to then use the pencil. I'm going to use black because I've used a black outline, and you can use your Sharpie for this too. So you can see where I've got that pointy line, I've created a soft edge. So the idea of this is to get rid of all of the pointy edges. So all of the points, and we're going to create soft edges.
Soft edges are good.
Soft edges are very good. So see, there's one that I've just finished here. That one could actually be a little bit softer. So see how I've now created where all of those edges were. I now have all soft circular edges. So we'll keep working around in those edges. And the other thing with this activity is try not to, and I know this is really hard for lots of people, including myself, try not to let old Penny Perfection take over.
Yeah, I've had to learn that.
I've just recently named my Miss Perfection as Penny Perfection.
I love it.
So, oh, Mel's having tech issues. That's all right. I hope you can hear Mel, but if not, you can watch the replay. So yes, quite often we sit in our little perfectionist mode, and it can be quite limiting. So when we create art, we can kind of like, you know, take that away from ourselves. So just sort of letting go. And this particular activity is one of those sort of activities that can help us just let that go.
Okay, that's
Oh,
done.
Mel's dropped off. And the other thing you can do as well, if you've got, I'll just show you on this picture that I've got here. So see here how I've got this big, massive gap of nothing that actually doesn't sort of join onto an edge. You can create another line if you want to. So I might sort of do like a line like that, which will give it an edge. So I can create those sort of shapes. So I just don't have that big gap of space. So you can do that as well. How's everybody going with their rounding? Are they feeling good?
Yeah.
Yes.
You feeling all right?
I have so many though.
That's all right. Who said that, Maria?
No.
Who
Larissa.
said that? Larissa, you have a lot. Let's have a look, my darling.
I'm only partway through.
Oh, yeah, that's all right. Me too. Like this takes a long time. And, you know, this particular one that I did, this one that I prepared earlier,
Oh,
it
wow.
actually took me about 4 hours.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Yeah, so this, you won't get this finished in this 1 hour session. Don't stress about that. This particular activity, you can come back to. Like you could start it today and come back to it later, or come back to it tomorrow, or come back to it next week.
Love it.
So it's something that you can kind of continue working on. Yeah, I did this over about a 2 or 3 day period because the colouring is quite time consuming as well. So because I coloured in coloured pencils, you know, I wanted to do sort of some shading and things like that. But if you use paint, you know, you can just sort of paint like a whole big line, or painting is a lot faster than pencil. It just depends on how quickly or slowly you want to do it.
Yeah, that's one thing I've had to try to teach myself is the patience.
Yep.
Because I have to remember that, you know, if I actually want to do my art, I have to be patient and realize that I'm not going to get it done in half an hour. It's just not going to happen.
Correct. Yeah. And I teach kids art in the afternoon. So I have kids classes, and that is actually my favorite word is patience, because, and not saying that you're a kid, but you know, kids.
Oh yeah, no, I'm a big kid.
Kids try and do things very quickly. And you know, we only have hour classes with the kids too. So sometimes lessons will go over 2 or 3 weeks, and they get quite frustrated because they can't finish an activity within that 1 hour lesson. So teaching them the patience of art as well. And the reason I think why there's a lot of psychological reasons why we try to do things so quickly is because when we're at school and we're young, art is not a very valued commodity in general life, because, you know, what are you going to do with art in your life? Probably not much, but it's actually a really important part of your health, really. And I think when we're in school, art's sort of like, okay, let's hurry up. So you never actually give yourself that space. And then when you do art, I don't know about you, I'm like this. I have guilt about sometimes spending time on doing art. So being able to give yourself that space and taking the guilt away from it.
Yeah, I had to learn how to do that, because it's now actually my job.
Oh, beautiful.
I left my old corporate job last year
Yep.
to design stickers with my daughter.
Oh, fabulous, fabulous.
So yeah, it's been quite a journey in trying to make myself slow down and like you said, get rid of what did you name it?
Penny perfection.
Yeah. And knowing that I just I can, okay, it might I might spend hours upon hours on one simple piece, but that's just how it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And just giving yourself that space is quite important as well. And that's why this activity is great, because if you do sort of run out of time, or you feel like you're spending too much time on it, you can just pop it down and then just come back to it. It's an activity that you sort of can keep coming back to until it's finished.
I just had an epiphany.
What's your epiphany?
You know, how all those adult coloring books became popular and all that. I always used to get impatient with them because I'd be like, oh, this is taking too long. And I just realized why.
Yeah.
I should actually revisit some of those.
Yeah. So they're created for mindfulness, and I think they are not really marketed, I guess, as such, but yeah, they're such valuable tools. And I know so many people that actually have used those in the lockdown days, and just to sort of get some relaxation. And it's because it just takes your mind out of that doing space and into that relaxation space. So when you create art as well, and this is an interesting fact, so we have our left and right brain. So our left brain is our doing brain, and our right brain is our creative brain. And when we live in our left brain and we're doing, I call it running on the mouse wheel, because you're constantly going, what am I going to have for breakfast? I've got to get the kids to school. I've got to get to work. What's for dinner? Oh my gosh, I'm going to be late. There's the bus, there's the train, whatever. Anyway, you're constantly thinking, and you're not really in the moment. You're just thinking constantly. But when you do art, you go into your right brain mode, and it actually releases the feel-good hormone. So it's almost like, eating some chocolate, or having a glass of wine, or eating some pizza, or doing something that's really nice. It releases that feel-good hormone for you. So it's quite a calming thing, which is why doing art and that mindfulness coloring in is exactly for that reason.
Yeah. I definitely relate to using more of my right brain than the left brain, with being in a corporate job. That was like, and my stress levels were quite high.
Yeah.
Leaving it was the best thing I ever did.
Yeah. How are you going with yours, Maria?
Yep, I think I'm done. I'm just going through it, making sure that there's no others that I've missed. There's one little spiral that I did beside another one, but they didn't quite meet.
That's all right.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's good. Mine's starting to look a little bit like that now.
Oh yeah, cool.
I've still got lots to go on mine as well. So just remember, patience. And in fact, I just did a little, what do you call it? Those stupid reels on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
I'm so not good at those, but and that was actually the words that I used: tiny lines and patience.
Feels good being back on the bandwagon here.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
How are you going, Tessa?
I'm getting there.
Beautiful. How you going, Lee?
Yeah, good. Just about done.
Sweet. Excellent.
Sharon, your ceiling's leaking behind you.
A ceiling?
Yeah. What the hell?
What do you mean?
April Fool, gotcha.
Oh, oh, you are too funny. I was going to say, I just had that all fixed.
I knew it.
We did have a leaking ceiling here for a little while. I had a few little buckets all going on the floor.
Oh, it's been horrid with all that rain.
It's been dreadful. I know.
Sorry? Yeah. She working today? That's- I'm just on Zoom for another half hour. Okay.
Oops. That wasn't supposed to go there. Yeah.
All right. And here we go. There's a little bit more. I still haven't rounded all my edges off yet.
I just made more for myself because I was filling in the line gaps to the edges.
Yep.
Now I've got more corners to soften.
Yeah. Well, this bit here, I have like quite a big gap here. So I may put a few more lines in here just to kind of make that not such a massive space to colour.
Mm.
Looks like you've got an alien.
Pardon?
Looks like you've got an alien at the top.
Ah, yeah.
Nice.
So that's the other thing is have a look and see if you can actually see any images in it. So turn it around. Turn it around, because with this type of art, some people actually start this type of art and then create artwork out of it. So
Now I remember why this is so familiar. I remember I was been trying to remember why the swirls and softening the things felt so familiar. Somebody did a tutorial on how to paint water, and that's one of the things that they did was like doing all those, circles, whatever swirly things, and then softening all the gaps. And I'm like, that's what it was.
right, that's interesting. Okay. There's actually a whole Facebook page on Neurographic Art, a group that I'm in, which is quite interesting. Some of the people's artwork is quite amazing in that.
I always get intimidated. I used to get very intimidating seeing other people's art. Now I've just got to remember, what was that line? Don't compare the start of my story to whatever chapter they're on.
Correct. Yeah. Because everybody's at a different level. And that's a good thing with art journaling, is you can really get some really good results with it. I'm going to show you some techniques next week on layering, how to layer to get effect. Today's just been a nice ease-in day. So
Good.
yeah. And I hope that when you all finish, so anybody that's watching on the replay, because this will be recorded on to the group, but anybody that is watching on the replay and the ladies in the group today, please share your artworks that you've created on the page. So you can just use the hashtag #ArtyApril when you share, and you can just, you know, give us a rundown of how you found the activity, whether you were relaxed, whether you loved it, whether you hated it, whether it triggered something in you, if penny perfection was out in full force. Oh my goodness me.
Oops, wrong way.
And now when you color, if you do color, so this one now I've got quite a lot of big space here. So I could, you know, you could add some more black lines into this space if you feel like that's too big, or you could use like a sweeping color. So I might like do some watercolor and just paint this whole piece, or you could just paint each individual circle. So it's really up to you how you sort of go with that. This particular one is a little bit different to my last one.
Outside. All right. Excuse me, I'm letting the dogs outside.
Okay.
Yeah. Only got half an hour to go. They're showing it. Rob's home.
Hi, Rob.
Hello.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You are.
So I've just started colouring this one in. So the way that I like to colour is I do a dark outline and then I do the inside a little bit lighter. I don't know. It's just my my style, I guess. I don't know why I like it that way, but that's the way I've actually done this one as well. So darker on the outside and then just lighter on the inside.
They're pretty.
So that's my particular way that I like to color, but you guys can kind of go with your own sort of feel. Now, did you all get an art journal for this, or are you just using some paper?
I found a spare art journal.
Great. I know Lee got a journal. What about you, Tessa? Did you get a journal, or are you just using paper?
No,
You-
I've got it. Yeah.
Beautiful. And Maria, I know you've got lots of art journals, haven't you?
I do. Yeah.
Perfect.
Them all.
Now, next week, if you are coming along, if you can make it, I will record it again. I'll record all of these sessions. We'll do a little bit of collage work. So you'll just need a little bit of glue. And if you have magazines or, you know, some old cards or, I don't know, brochures or pamphlets out of the letterbox, or, you know, if you're into scrapbooking, like scrapbooking bits and pieces, or you could use, so I've got, you could go to the park, that's a pink leaf, but you could pick up some leaves or some feathers or just anything that you can kind of use to stick on the paper. And I'm going to show you like a little bit of a layering technique that you can do with some journaling. The other thing you can do is if you've got a printer, you could actually print some images. So we're going to create sort of something like that, which looks, everybody goes, wow, that's great. I didn't draw any of that. It's all collaged, but I've created like a little envelope and done some images. So we'll create something sort of along those lines next week.
As you can see, she hit another view.
Okay, so we're sort of getting this sort of look. This actually looks like a person with some arms holding up here. Almost. What have you got, Lee? Let's have a look. Yes, nice. How are you finding the rounding of the edges going? Oh, you're on mute, Lee. How are you finding the rounding of the edges going? All right?
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Good. Excellent.
They look all right, or they're still too sharp?
You've still got a few sharp ones there, but that's all right. Keep going.
Yeah.
Larissa, how are you finding it?
I took inspiration from how you do your colors. I have watercolor brush markers.
Yep.
So just, filling in the outside and then using the water to, oh my God, where's the color? Using the water to bring the color in the middle, but where it's lighter.
Beautiful. Yeah, so it's a little bit lighter. Excellent. Tessa, how about you? How are you finding it? Ooh, you've got like a very monotone look going on there.
Mm.
Yeah.
So still rounding some edges? Are you
Mm.
still rounding some edges?
I'm finished with the edges.
Okay.
Just doing the coloring, but just
Colours?
black and
Monotone, that's good. Awesome. Great. Love it. Maria, how are you going, my darling?
Yeah, coming along.
Coming along?
I'm having a look at the way you're doing things because I've just got basic things. Oh, I've actually got watercolors, but
Yep.
I wasn't going to use it that way. But was it Larissa?
Yeah.
Watercolors, good on you, Larissa. You might be inspiring me. I'm always afraid to use it to do stuff because it often doesn't work out for me.
Yeah.
It gets messy.
So get rid
I
of
used to-
get rid of penny perfection, Maria.
Right. Yes.
I
Yes.
used to steer away from the watercolors and the watercolor brush markers because I could never seem to get it how I wanted. And then I finally learned how to use them, and now I love using them.
Yeah. Watercolor is quite a medium that is quite difficult to use. I'm actually not a fan of watercolor, to be honest. And I use watercolor as a challenge paint because I'm not great at it. And watercolor can be really good when penny perfection is around because you cannot control it that much.
Yeah.
And you just have to let it be with whatever it is.
Is it Anissa Navarra?
I find you've got to have penny perfection there, and let her be there and soften her to not too loud rather than push her down.
Talk to her and see what it is that she's
Right.
saying to you.
Right. She maybe doesn't want to be penny perfectionism anymore, but not allowing her to heal from that
Yeah.
is always going to have her around, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that like a versus an OCD type of thing?
Oh, well, maybe. that's another lesson
my
for another
problem.
day, right?
Oh dear.
So we all have inner critics of some description, Inga imposter and Nigel no friends. There's lots of them.
Oh, yeah.
We've just got to learn when to listen to them or not. They're there for a reason, but it depends on how loud their voice is some days.
I've been learning. It's been a long learning journey, but learning how to quiet them and leave me alone.
Yeah, I don't think you ever stop the learning journey, to be honest.
That's one thing I always like, I like finding the people that acknowledge it. It doesn't matter what point you are at in life, how old you are, you're always learning something.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And something about ourselves too.
Yeah, like there's always going to be something to learn about yourself. There's always going to be something to learn in general. Just, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to ever know it all in this lifetime, that's for sure.
Especially the way the world keeps evolving, though.
Yeah, that's right. The other thing you can do with this is when you have finished doing the artwork on it in the journal, and I'm a big writer as well as an arter, you could actually write how the process was for you. So in art therapy, we do a lot of writing, a lot of just not investigative writing, but just sort of like automatic writing, where we just like write what's in our thoughts in that moment. So just letting your mind just be still for a little bit, and then just write what the process was like for you, how it felt for you, how you felt in that moment of that creation. You can write just like, a sentence or a paragraph or a poem or maybe a song. Maria, I know you love the songs.
Yeah.
But just writing, what it was like for you in that moment, and just like reflect back on that activity. Maybe you could reflect on the colors that you've used, or what if you can see any images within your artwork, what they might represent for you as well. So if I look into this one, I kind of almost see here like a person with their arms up in the air. So what might that represent for me? And for the people that might be watching on replay, you could also do the same, is just write, a sentence or a paragraph, or, something that reflects how this activity was for you. Did penny perfection come out for you, or were you in a relaxed moment? Okay, so this is where I'm up to now. So as you can see, it is going to take quite a long time to complete. So I'm going to keep working on mine over the day and maybe over the weekend. And I can show you what the finished one will look like. How's everybody else going? Okay?
Yes.
Great.
I'm
Maria,
going to have to finish mine on the weekend though, because
yeah.
work the rest of the day.
Yeah, nice. Lee's writing some words into hers. I love that. That's
Ooh.
great.
Oh, wow.
Perfect.
Oh, that gives me ideas.
Yeah,
Ooh.
beautiful. Thanks, Lee. Thank you for sharing. Tessa, how are you going with yours?
I'm still going with mine.
Still going? Yep. Nice. I can hear someone sharpening. My sharpener's not on my desk and I've got 2 broken pencils.
Oh,
Anyway.
I have 3 sharpeners within hand's reach right now for some reason.
Mine are all behind me, so I've got to make sure I've got that next time. Right, so we're nearly at the end. Can you believe that hour's gone by that fast?
that's so true.
Yeah,
How did
it
that happen?
always goes through like, you think, oh, an hour, that's plenty of time, but it just flies by. I had earlier this morning one of those accountability group calls that went for an hour, and by the end of it, I'm like, what do you mean it's already up?
Yeah, I know, it goes too fast.
It does.
And when you sort of like pop your head down and do something like this, you can kind of be lost in it for a long time. So yeah, it's quite good in a way. If you really want to sort of chill out, it's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
So if everybody wants to hold up their images, I'm going to do a little happy snap if that's all right.
Oh, I've only partially started doing that one.
That's all right. So you can put your face in or not, it's up to you.
There.
Okay, great. Let me just take that. Righto, good. Save that. Okay, good. Thanks, guys. So I'm going to say thank you for joining me today. I hope you learned something
Yes.
in this sort of relaxation space. So really just, you know, getting those lines. The other good thing with this kind of art is if you say you go away, for example, on a holiday, you know, you can buy those little tiny mini art journals and they're, you know, about that big. You can actually kind of just take all your art with you. Yeah, like you can even get ones half that size, Lee.
What?
Smaller again.
I've
Yeah.
got even tinier ones.
Yes. Yeah, like that.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love that, Lee. And you can really just see. Oh yeah, puppy. That's good.
Happy.
A horse. Yeah, you've been on fire, Lee. Look at you go. Love it. You know, you can get those like little mini pencil sets, you know, like the little travel sets. You can kind of like just take it away with you. So you could pack it in a little pencil case almost. So, you know, with this sort of art, you can kind of like take it anywhere, you know, on a train, on a bus, you know, even if you're at work and you're bored, maybe on your desk, I don't know. But
yeah, I've got a pencil case that's dedicated to like doing art while I'm traveling.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. Excellent. So next week, yes, we'll be doing a little bit of collaging. So just gather some stuff. Don't stress if you haven't got it. You know, the magazines that they put in your letterbox, you know, the Aldi or Coles, or you can go to Coles and get the book, you know, the, what do they call, like those recipe
The free
book things?
magazine.
The free magazine.
Oh, yeah.
And the Woolies one.
The Woolies have them. Just grab one of those even, because, you know, there'll be lots of little things in that you can use, you know, like cakes or, you know, pies or things like that you can use for this sort of collaging. So don't like go out of your way to go and buy books or magazines or anything like that. Just find something that's free or around. You know, I go to the park sometimes and pick up leaves, because leaves are really good for collaging. The other thing I love are feathers. So if you find feathers on the ground, I know some people are a bit grossed out by feathers, but I buy feathers for my art classes. But I've got lots of feathers, but I find feathers on the ground, like bird feathers, and I use those sometimes in art journaling. So if you feel a bit yuck, just give them a wash before you use them. But, you know, most of the time the feathers are all good to use. And yeah, just little bits and pieces that you might find, or buttons if you've got like little random buttons hanging around the house, or little bits of material. I don't know, you can use everything in art journaling, anything. I actually used, I'll show you one if I can quickly find it, which this one inspired me. I had a cup of tea one day, and a cup of coffee, actually, it was in a coffee bag, and I created a let me quickly see in this book. I've got too many art books. Here we go. I actually used see the little tea bag thing there. I used that in my journal, and this journal is actually made using a Chuck's super wipe, a fork, the tea bag, and bubble wrap.
Oh, wow.
So I have used a brush to paint the cup and some paint pen, but the rest of that artwork there is with a chucks, a fork and bubble wrap. So you don't even need like brushes and things. I've got a friend who actually does art, and she makes her own brushes out of sticks that she finds in the garden, and leaves and branches.
That's so cool.
To give like different technique. So it's it's really cool to see.
A bottle brush like cleaner is also good too.
Oh,
The little
yes.
ones, or the straw cleaners, they're good for texture too.
Yeah. Or toothbrush, maybe not an old toothbrush, just a cheapy toothbrush from, Hot Dollar. Pretty much anything you can use as art. The other thing is good is balloons. We use balloons a lot for art. So you blow it up and you can dunk the balloon in and then like roll the balloon onto the paper to give you a texture.
Okay.
It's really interesting. So lots of different ways to do art. String is another way to dunk string into paint and then swirl it on the page. Anyway, we can go through all of that. I'm going to give you lots of these prompts in the next month, right? We've got 30 days or 31 days of them to come.
So you
30
do,
days.
You do it every day. You put it on your Facebook page.
On the page, I'm going to give you a daily prompt. And you can create some art around the daily prompt. And then every Friday, I'm going to be on live at 10 o'clock for the next couple of weeks doing a create along, an art journal. Yeah. So you can join every week if you want to.
I won't be here for create along because Sydney Royal's about to start, so I'll be playing with cows.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Friday.
fun. Maybe you can journal on
absolutely.
some cows. Let's do some art
I can do
journaling
that.
around some cows. All right.
I might grab some leaflets while I'm out there.
Yeah, good. That'd be awesome. Ladies.
Can you, sorry,
Final
Sarah,
words?
can you give me a link for your Facebook? I don't think I have your Facebook.
Yes, absolutely. Let me just get you that now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sign off. I'm not going to leave, but I'm just going to sign off for everybody at home. I'll see you maybe next week. Hi.
Mum's all right.
Hi, Lee's mum. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
How old are you?